everybody, and welcome to In My Mug, episode 201. On Monday the 17th, got the date right this time, of September 2012. I am your host, Stephen Layton, and today we geek out. Today we are here in our wonderful little space to talk about coffee, and in particular all the loveliness that we have here at Has Been. But before we do that, we have to dive into what was quite well received last week, the news. Website testing has commenced. It's taken a bit longer than we thought. The site's going to be with you very soon, but things are looking really good. We found out lots of little bugs, little things that weren't quite right, and by the time we give it to you, we want it to be amazing and finished and polished. But all the feedback so far has been very positive, that it's clean, tidy, easy to navigate. So yeah, we're really happy with that thing. It's just little things in the background we've got to sort out. So, I am doing the Great North Run today, Sunday, well, whenever I get this out. I am injured. I am hobbling around, but I'm going to be doing it. So if you look on BBC TV on Sunday morning, look for somebody kind of hobbling around. And if you're from Newcastle or North Shields, come throw things at a Mackem. It'll be good fun. And we have had some amazing new coffees arrive this week. So over the next week, we're going to see an amazing Honduras from a producer that we bought from, but not from Honduras. Intrigued? They've air freighted it out for us, as we've never bought anything from the producers before in Honduras. We've only really bought from brokers, so very exciting, and more will be revealed in the next week. And also, El Bosque is back, so I'm going to get that on the site really soon. And that was the news! G'day. So, last week we did the 20 minutes on, and the feedback was super positive. I think that was kind of a bit of a trial. In fact, you were all really nice to me last week, and I'm not used to this, because normally when we change things, people get a bit funny with me and kind of stuff. I like this one, but everybody was really good with last week, so I'm kind of, yeah, I'm going to flog that horse until it falls over. So, time for 20 minutes on. So, put the starter and go. So, El Salvador is in Spanish, he said as República de El Salvador, which literally means Republic of the Saviour. It's the smallest and most populated country in Central America. The country's capital city is the largest city in El Salvador, called San Salvador, and is one of the fastest growing cities in the world. El Salvador borders the Pacific Ocean and the south. 20 minutes is never enough. "20 minutes is never enough, 20 seconds is never enough." Anyway, let's go on to coffee, and let's talk about this week's coffee, which is, of course, is from El Salvador. Coffee that we've seen for a few years now, and it's called El Retiro. The farm has been in the family since 1927. He's owned by the Pacas family, who are a big family in El Salvador, which the Pacas varietal is named after. It's now run by the fourth generation, and has been very well rewarded in Cup of Excellencies in the past, and as a quality great cup. It's a medium-sized farm for El Salvador, employs 24 people permanently, and over 100 during the picking season. And for that much coffee, we have such a tiny amount. It won't be around for long. With the In My Mug, and with the spurt that comes afterwards, I don't imagine it's going to be here for more than a few weeks, but it's coffee that we really love, and I really wanted to show you and share with you. So when we cupped it, it was about 8 weeks ago, I decided we would buy it, and it would be definitely in my mug. So it's 100% red Bourbon. Neighbour's Santa Patrona, and when I say neighbour, there's a road between them, and either side is there. And Santa Patrona is owned by a different part of the Pacas family. And you would think, with the farms being so close, that they would have lots in common, but they don't. Not at all in the cup. They are quite different. There will have been a time where this farm was the same farm before the land reforms in El Salvador, where lots of families were forced to split up the farm, and that's why you find all these different family members owning these different farms. But in the cup, it is so different, which we'll see in a moment. But just so you can see how close the farms really are, time for yours and my favourite bit, the map bit, with a little bit of an edit due to popular demand last week that my beautiful singing voice was missing from it. Not anymore. It's the map bit, no expense spent. It's the map bit. And hello. And the music's back. Yay! Yay for music! Right, we're zooming out. And we're going to be zooming across our fairly familiar route now. Across to the beautiful, wonderful country of El Salvador. One of my favourite countries. Completely. Not just Central America, from anywhere. Here we have our full view of El Salvador. And there is some coffee that comes from Cabanas and San Vincent and San Miguel. But we tend not to see so much of it in the quality end. Where we do see it is here in this spine of mountains in the Santa Ana Arshapan mountain region part. But the part we're interested in is here, where we see two farms that I think are amazing, but amazingly different, as we're going to talk about as we go in. And all that separates them is a road. Now, I'm devastated that on the day that Google Earth took these pictures, it was cloudy here. But what you can do here, I'm trying to just zoom up so you can see a little bit of the range. So you can see that it's kind of quite high up and there's a valley in between. This gives it a very unique microclimate that just means that everything I've tasted from this region, well, actually, no, that's a lie, not everything, but lots of coffee I've tasted from this region tend to be amazing. So there we have it, the map bit. It's the map bit, no expense spent. It's the map bit. Cool little map bit there. We've had 2 good weeks of map bit. I'm very, very pleased. But you can see how close Santa Patrona is to El Retiro and how close it is to lots of other farms we buy from in that region. And you think about it, El Salvador is about the size of Wales. So everybody's going to be fairly close. And that Santa Ana Arshapan region really, really does, does make a difference. But when we cup it, you'll see, I think a lot of it is down to processing methods and obviously different soils, different husbandry of the coffee plants. But super interesting that you can have something kind of so different. So this is all about clips. And this, again, was another favourite part for me last week. I'm really excited by In My Mug at the moment. But it was going to be a one-off or every now and again. But we've decided that it's going to be a regular feature. It's definitely in the brew to be every week. So it is time for Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. Roland's Daft Fact of the Week.
72% of farms in El Salvador are 1 hectare or less.
Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. So some of you were asking last week, who's Roland? Roland is our roaster here and our all-round coffee geek. So that's why we have Roland's Daft Fact. I can't believe you don't know who he was. Come on. So last week we had the Cantan. So Cantan comes off. We have a new addition on this week, which is the French press, which is going on there. And so when we've done one, it comes off until we've been through them all and then we go again. So time for the Wheel of Death. Where it goes, nobody knows. This week it's going to be Irish coffee. Oh no! What do I do with Irish coffee? I've got no whiskey already. Okay, I'm going to have to go and get some whiskey. And try and make an Irish coffee. Fantastic. I love the Wheel of Death. It's going to make my life hell. I liked it when I could plan. So, we'll do that in a second. Before we go and make the drinks, we should talk about the numbers. So, the farm is called Finca El Retiro. It's owned by the Pacas family. Closest city is the city of Santa Ana. The region is Xalolxapan, which is in the Arshapan mountain range. Farm size is 18.9 hectares, of which all of it is coffee growing. Altitude of around about 1,400 metres above sea level. It's 100% Bourbon. It's a semi-washed, so it's it's a pulp natural style. I think it might not be, but that's the information we have, so that's what we have to go with. And it is a delicious coffee that we've had, say, for, I think this is our 4th year of it, so it's good to have. So, I'm going to whap you on pause. I'm sorry, Jamie. I know you hate WAP. I'll whap you on pause. I'm going to go and make tasty and delicious drinks. I'm going to go and make an Irish coffee. Oh my God. And I'll be back with you in just a moment. And we are back. Tasty drinks. So, I may look a bit older than when I started. That's mainly because I've had to go out and buy cream and had to go out and fetch my whiskey, and yeah, so this is the espresso. So as I said, this is next door to Santa Patronus, and there are some similarities. You can see the chocolate in there for sure, but for me, this is all about honey. It's so thick and it's so sweet and sticky, that real honey taste to it. It's a delicious espresso. Incredibly balanced, very tight, very smooth, just really good. And now time for milk. So, in the milk, it maybe gets a tiny bit lost. Not lots, just a tiny. Yeah, it's the creaminess and the sweetness of the milk definitely fights that flavour in there. But yeah, really good. So, while I'm waiting for the Irish coffee, I'm waiting for the Chemex to be brewed. Somebody's going to bring it in to me so it's all fresh and I can actually prepare it here on the table. I'm going to go to the pinboard of doom, and we have a photo which I'm going to show you on the screen now. This was very kindly sent to us by Sally, and this was 3 weeks ago when she was on holiday in the Isle of Skye, and they couldn't find a decent coffee anyway, but they've got Has Been with them. Sally's a regular watcher of In My Mug, and she very kindly, when I was, I think I injured myself or was feeling rather sad for myself, sent me one of these little bunnies that's on the picture and some sweets, and made me feel really happy and nice. So Sally's a lovely, lovely, lovely customer, and yeah, that's the pinboard of doom. Thank you for everybody else who sent ones in. I am going to keep them and slowly put them up there, because when there'll be a week that nobody sends me anything, I'm going to be upset. So I'll obviously have all of those ones in there. So, because it's taken a little bit longer than normal to get this one, I'm going to put you on pause and I'll be back in a minute with the Irish coffee. Okay, so we're going to do snozzer in the bowl before we start the brew, just for Gary, because Gary said, where was it last week, so... And all the things that I got in the espresso, so that sweetness and that kind of floral honey is here. A really nice smelling coffee, actually. It's a really, really solid coffee. It is super, super good. So, yes, let's get into this. So, I spoke to our Irish correspondent, Mr. Colin Harmon, who very kindly gave me this recipe. So, you need some brown sugar into a cup. Don't know how this is going to work out. We will see. You add a little bit of hot water to it and dissolve the sugar. So I'm dissolving the sugar. So hot water, brown sugar. Come on, dissolve. Okay, well that's got a lot of it. Let's leave it there. Let's keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you take whiskey. Knew there was something. So I have got Naponague Castle 1995 Special Reserve Irish whiskey. I'm told that it's okay to use other whiskies, like you won't be shot or anything, but Irish coffee should have Irish whiskey. So there's a story behind me and Irish coffee. So I'm just going to give this a stir. So last year I emceed the Coffee and Good Spirits competition where they have to brew one of these, and I managed to try every single one of them. By the end of the emceeing, I was completely drunk, and this was a good thing. And caffeinated at the same time. It was a bit of a mess. But yes, they have a coffee competition where you mix alcohol and coffee together. So then you add your brewed coffee. which is the El Retiro. And I think you give it a stir again, I don't know. I'm going to, just to make sure it's all mixed in. And then the cream. This is important apparently, that you put it in a glass bottle and you have to shake it, you have to get air into it. So that's what I'm doing. And we'll see how this works out. People are going to be laughing at me on this one, I'm sure. So, the back of the spoon, you very gently pour the cream. It's not working, Colin. I think I've boo-booed. Okay, so it's meant to be floating and not mixing. But I've not done a very good job, have I? I apologise to all Irish people all over the world. But let's try it anyway. So, I didn't like these until this Coffee and Good Spirits competition. And actually they're really nice. Like, I don't want one every day. Don't get me wrong. But you should try one. It's fun. It's something different. So, and you're meant to suck the coffee and the whiskey through the cream. So, it actually tastes really good. I'm quite proud of that actually, even though it looks a bit of a mess and it's not very pretty. That for me is really good. So moving on from last week, we did the staff clip where we actually had a guest come on. That's not going to happen every week, but we're still going to have the staff clip. So the staff clip this week is Ray, who works with us, who I'm sure he won't mind me saying, he's 71 years young, and has worked with us for about 4 or 5 years now, and he works packing, putting all of your orders into envelopes and dispatching out. Ray's a superstar and we love him very, very much. So it's time for Ray's Football Fact of the Week. Michael Owen is just 32 years old and will probably score many, many goals for Stoke. Come on the Potters! So that was Ray, who is a big, big Stoke City fan. And yes, I'm sure we'll be talking about Michael Owen all next week, that he's the best player ever, because he's done that all this week. So, also, I mentioned to you last week about the descriptor scale. So, descriptor scale is where you give me a descriptor in the comments or on email. And I've had one entry this week. I'm very, very disappointed in you. Very disappointed. But here is this week's descriptor scale. Descriptor scale. So the pin badge goes to Phil, who put in the comments that he felt this was more like a flavoured floral tea than the coffee blossom that I put in there. And I can completely go with that, Phil. So you are the proud owner of the first ever descriptor scale badge. What you need to do is drop me an email to steve@hasbeen.co.uk with your name and address, and I will make that happen. So that was the descriptor scale. Descriptor scale. So time to wrap up. Let's go through the numbers once more. So the farm is called Finca El Retiro. It is from El Salvador. The farm is just short of 19 hectares. It has an altitude of 1,400 metres above sea level. It is 100% red Bourbon. It is a semi-wash process, although we're not sure about all of those things. And it is in the Arshipan mountain range of El Salvador. I'm enjoying doing these again, which is really good. I've been looking forward to doing this all week. I hope you are enjoying them too. I am very keen still to get your feedback, so please keep it coming. Good, bad or indifferent. And yes, keep an eye out for that new website this week. There will be an email coming out to you if you're a customer asking you to change your password. Please don't hate us for that. And do remember, Life is too short for bad coffee.